Hello and welcome to a cool video today, and I'm recording this using not my iPad but using the iPad to record my iPod, and yes, I still have the iOS 6.1.6 version because this iPod doesn't let you update to iOS 7, so I have to get I treat this thing like my phone because my real phone is a piece of crap. I can't wait to get a smartphone like an Android soon, but yeah, today you obviously see the album called GTA Cars, and that's what we're reviewing is 114 pictures of car comparisons, starting with the ones that both share the same name and ones that are compared to each other, similar to each other. And I showed this list on YouTube on one of Almaloy's videos, but I figured I'd do a I figured I'd do a comparison video too. So this is a comparison video of not just the vehicles in the game, but the places too, and this one isn't very compared to places, but first off, hold on, let me push this in real fast, alright. First I started off with the pony. Most vehicles are in the same color, so pony, and pony in GTA 3 and Vice City, yeah, this is just GTA 3 and Vice City car comparison, and yeah, I'd prefer Vice City's, pony. Yeah, I'm gonna say which city's car I like better too. So next up, Securicar, and Securicar. I'd prefer Vice City's. Mule, yes, this location is similar too. I'd prefer Vice City's Mule. See how the locations are similar. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. So yep, Linerunner and Linerunner, not the same color, but yep, I prefer Vice City's Linerunner. Bobcat, both on the beach in front of the lighthouse. Bobcat, I prefer Liberty City's Bobcat. You can see a rampage there. We did that one already in our LP, which I don't know when I'm returning to. It depends on when I get the laptop back. But next up is Red Rumpo, GTA 3 and Vice Cities. I prefer Liberty Cities. Wait, did I say what I yeah, I did. So next is not in the same color, but Manana, GTA 3s and GTA Vice Cities. I gotta say, I think I'd prefer Liberty Cities Manana. So yeah, Mananas. Now Banshee's in front of inside auto repair shops, or not repair, but like autos shops, which are dealerships. So this is the Banshee in both games. I prefer Liberty Cities. Next up is Firetruck. So this is the FDLC, both at airport fire stations, and this is like the airport fire station in this game. So this is FDLC, and this is FDVC. I've even found an area that looks like this one in Vice City. So yes, FDLC and FDVC. So, and next up is Infernus, which I'd prefer Liberty City's Infernus. These are both at the airport runway. Very cool stuff, except it's raining in this one. It's not the same, but regardless, it's cool. Now, Yellow Sentinel, both at airport parking lots. You see how they're similar? I'd prefer Liberty Cities. Now, next up is Taxi. I'd prefer Vice City's Taxi, both at, in front of airport buildings. See how they look the same? Yep. Next up is Landstalker. Now, this is a compared location, except there used to be a dirt track here in LCS until they planted it all grass in GTA 3. So, Landstalker, and this is a dirt track. So, I prefer Liberty City's Landstalker. They made the Landstalker longer in LCS. RC Bandit. RC Bandit, because they both had the same name. RC Bandit, I don't know which one I'd prefer. I think I'd prefer Vice Cities, actually. So, yeah, RC Bandit's cool. Flatbeds, I'd prefer Liberty City's Flatbed. Actually, no, I'd prefer Vice City's. I take that back. I prefer Vice City's Flatbed, so these are the two Flatbeds. Now, next up is Yankee, which I'd prefer Vice City's Yankee, both at the docks in front of tanks. Yeah, if you get what I'm saying. So, yep, Yankee, and next up is the Trashmaster. It's a little hard to see at first, but look, there's Trashmaster there, and they're both at the junkyards, and I prefer Vice Cities. Next up is the BF Injection, which I prefer Vice City's BF Injection. Next up, we even are doing boats now. And look, I have 4 stars. I can't even remember how I got 4 stars. I got them for a stupid reason, that's for sure. But this is in front of Ocean, Rocks, Liberty City's Reefer, and Vice City's Reefer. And this time I don't have 4 stars. I'd prefer Vice City's Reefer. And yeah, Reefer, haha. That sounded dumb. Well, of course, that's the point. But bus, I prefer Vice City's bus. So yeah. Ambulance, Liberty City Ambulance, and Vice City Ambulance. I prefer Liberty City's ambulance. They're both at hospitals, obviously. Now, next up is the Rhino, which, I have 6 stars in both the pictures, and I prefer Vice City's Rhino. Because it looks cool. So next up is the Predator, which is the police boat, both at airport runway docks, and this is Liberty City, and this is Vice City. And I'd prefer Vice City's, even though on the iOS version of Vice City you can't even shoot, which is stupid, because there's no attack button. There would be an attack button right there, but there's no attack button. It's stupid. Next up is the Idaho in front of airport terminals. I prefer Vice City's Idaho because it's more shiny, but Idaho is in both games. Yep. Next up is the Moonbeam, which I decided to place in front of both ammunitions. So, yep, both in blue. I prefer Vice City's Moonbeam. Now, next up is the Speeder, which I placed both under bridge. Because the Callahan Bridge is high, you can't see them under it. But if you look at the radar right here, I am under the Callahan Bridge. So Speeder, and I'm under the bridge and Speeder. Yeah, this one's flat. It's hard to see this Speeder, but yeah, I'd prefer Liberty City Speeder, in my opinion. Although this one appears in different colors, but so does the Speeder. But this one only appears in like blue and red. This one like appears in many different colors, I'd say, but I can't name them all right now. Yellow, I guess, because that's what's there. But next up, Barracks OL in front of the Army bases, which is this is Liberty City's and this is Vice City's. I prefer Liberty City's Barracks OL. So cool. And next up is the Cheetah in front of both the city's stadiums. I'd prefer Liberty City's Cheetah. Next up is the Mr. Whoopee on the bridge, and yeah, the one in Liberty City is smaller. So yeah, I'd prefer Mr. Whoopee in Vice City because they're both big. This one's bigger. So yeah, and they're both on bridges. If I didn't mention that already. So yeah. Next up is the Enforcer, both at police stations, LCPD and VZPD. For some reason, this one doesn't say police on it. It just says SWAT. So yeah, these are all taken pictures when you press the home button and the power button. By the way, so yeah, both Enforcers in the game. Next up is a Stinger, which are both in red, which are both in front of statues. Yep. Even though this is my favorite car in the game, I prefer this one. Yeah. I prefer that Stinger. So, yep. Cabbie. My dog is barking. I prefer Cabbie. I prefer Vice. I'm not going to finish this video. God damn it. I'm going to... I lost my train of thought. I prefer Liberty City's Cabbie, and they're both in front of the cab companies. And for Patriot, which is next, which are both in front of fountains, I prefer Liberty City's because it's not an army vehicle, unlike Vice City, where that's the only thing it is. Now, green Esperanto is next in front of both construction sites in the game. I'd prefer Vice City's Esperanto. It's raining in Liberty City, but Stallion, both in the same color, in front of on top of the car park, both in front of the ramps that lead out of the thing. I prefer Liberty City Stallion. Stretch, both in front of radio stations. This is in front of V-Rock, this is in front of Head Radio, which are compared radio stations in the cities, and I prefer Liberty City's Stretch limo. Now, Vice City's Perennial, I prefer both in gas stations, yes, and I prefer Vice City's Perennial because it's more shinier. This is a cool comparison if you get admit. And the police car, I prefer, yeah, both police cars in front of banks. I'd prefer Liberty City's police car. And finally, not final, but final vehicle that both share the same names are a Coach. And yeah, I prefer Liberty City's Coach because it's not like white, which is the only color Vice City's appear in, and they're both in front of the mall. Now, we're onto the vehicles that have different names but are compared in the same way. So first off, we start with the TOYZ vans, which are called TOYZ in Liberty City and Top Fun in Vice City. And now I'm not going to say which one I prefer because it's too much right now, and yeah, why not? Why just stop here? So Diablo Stallion and Cuban Hermes, which both sound the same and have both flaming features on the car. Yep, cool. They're both in grassy areas, by the way. Mafia Sentinel and Sentinel XS, which both have the slanted windows in the back of the car. Blista and Blista Compact, they're both green. So cool. They're both in parking lots, by the way. Not for the same reasons, but Cartel Cruiser and FBI Rancher. FBI Rancher is the only thing I could compare it to was the Cartel Cruiser. Same with Cartel Cruiser. I could only compare that to the FBI Rancher because they're both the same size and, yeah. Both sound the same, I guess, but not really. But Panlantic and Burrito, which the only two vans I could prefer that to, and they're both in front of future or past construction sites, so that's cool. Yardi Lobo, both in front of bridges. Yardi Lobo and Voodoo, which are both the cars that bounce up and down. Hee hee hee, my people make the women's and the cars bounce up and down. Hee. But funny Fernando Martinez, whatever. They're both Gangcars now. Train, that's the vehicle you're looking at right now, and the only thing I could compare that to is the Packer, just because it's the longest vehicle I could find in that one. So yeah, that was a tricky shot, but I got it. Now next up is our trucks, both in front of strip clubs. Triad Fish Fan and Benson. Both in front of strip clubs. This is not really a compared one, except they're in front of Oceans, I guess. Yakuza Stinger and Phoenix. Next up is the Hood's Rumpo XL compared to the Gang Burrito, both in front of big houses with weapons. By the way, that's the M16 and that's a Uzi up there. Now, next up, the Kuruma is compared to the Washington in this game, and they're both in front of ponds with islands, as you see. Cool. Dodo, and that's compared to the Skimmer. And yes, the Skimmer is a water vehicle, but it's on the land, just so I could get the same shot as you see, both yellow striped ramps. Next up, FBI cruisers, which are called FBI Car in Liberty City and FBI Washington and Vice City, both on airport helipads. Now this was a cool one. I wanted to compare this one with the fake police choppers that fly after you. If you're wondering how I'm so high in Torrington, it's because I'm on the White Star. Now this is Liberty Cities and this is Vice Cities. So yeah, both comparing those two, which are cool. Next up are Borgnine and Zebra Cab, both decorated cabbies in front of Pizza Place. Says this place is a big deal. This place is barely recognizable in GTA 3, but it's a big deal in GTA Liberty City Stories because they added Noodle Punk in that game. But why do they add like a pizza mission too? Like if there's Noodle Punk, but I don't know. Now this one is, if you remember, the Ghost Missing is blue on the PS2, but it's black on iOS and Android. But I don't know, but it's black, yeah, on Xbox and PC and stuff like that, and it's called Ghost on those versions of the game, but on PS2 and PC, and Xbox. But on this version, it's called just Ghost, and yeah, it's black. Both in front of big boats. And if you're wondering what vehicle I compared the Ghost to, it's the Rio. That's the only thing I could compare it to. Yeah, we're taking all vehicles from GTA 3 and comparing them to some vehicle in GTA Vice City. So, yeah, and the last but not least vehicle is Mr. Wong's compared to the Spand Express, both in front of Pay and Sprays. So, yeah, thanks for watching this video, and sorry that my dog was barking halfway through the video, but yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this car comparison video. And thanks for watching.